Hi, this is Chris Tucker, talking this time out of studio to a couple of very good friends of mine. Firstly, sat on my left, those that can't see in black and white, is Mr. Tony Collier. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Chris.
And sitting dead facing me is the one that we call Sir. It's Stuart Kingsley. How are you, my friend?
I'm alright, thanks, Chris. Nice talking to you.
Likewise, nice to bump into you again, as we do from time to time, don't we? Anyway, what we're here to talk about is the forthcoming event to be held just down in Barry Island in South Glamorgan. To commemorate the opening and the closing and probably even the lifetime of the Butlins holiday camp that was located there for, was it 20 years? I think
20
it was.
years.
20
Yeah,
years.
fantastic. So the event's going to be, well, you tell us, Tony, it's going to be held at?
It's going to be held at the Eastern Garden Shelter on Saturday, July the 18th, which is just down off from the old Butlins camp.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be a grand day.
I'm sure so. And the sort of running order, what things are going to kick off then, Stuart?
Well, we've got a male voice choir, we've got a couple of comedians.
A Welsh male voice choir, I hope.
Absolutely, indeed,
fine.
yeah. I can't pronounce the name, but I'd have to ask my Welsh colleague to do that, so they'll bear with me. A couple of comedians, a couple of singers, a couple of people who'll be doing a little bit of talking about Butlins. The whole thing is being supported by a famous showbiz charity, the Grand Order of Water Rats. So we've got members of the Rats will be there. Whether they'll be doing acts, I don't know, or whether they'll just be there. But knowing those guys, if you give them 2 minutes, they'll take a week. So
Absolutely. I was talking to one of the brother Rats down there, a guy called Ray Martin, and he said that he was probably going to do a little bit. Is that still standing?
That's correct, yes. It is.
Fantastic. So there you go. That's your first 3 hours filled.
yeah, well, of course, Ray was actually a redcoat at Barry at one time, as was his brother Mike, and they're both Water Rats. So.
That's right. Yes, indeed. So it's going to be. How long's the event scheduled to last, roughly?
It's going to start at 12, and our running order time says around about 85 to 90 minutes.
So that's going to be 2
An
hours.
hour and a half, but I think it'll go over because we've got a couple of great people as special guests.
Oh, we'll keep that done for a sleeve then, shall we?
Well, yeah, I mean, Wyn Calvin is coming along, who's the
brilliant.
Prince of Laughter.
Yeah.
He was the guy that opened up, well, he was there when they first opened in 1966,
66.
where he met his
Fantastic
wife
comedian.
Carol.
That's right.
He's a lovely chap, and we respect him a great deal, so I think we're going to put him in as the top of the bill, as we'll say.
Fantastic.
And he personally said, you know, how long do you want me to do? And I said 4 minutes, and he said, what about a fortnight?
Yes,
And I
it's
said,
sort of in the vein
that's
of
it.
Ken Dodd, maybe.
It's
Very much so, old school, yeah, very
But
much.
a
so.
lovely chap, and you know, and a past king rat in the Water Rats, and a very respected fella in Wales.
Absolutely, indeed. And I think it's fair to say that it's not just anybody that's associated at all with Butlins that's invited to come. It is absolutely everybody that's either been there or wish they had been there, indeed.
Yes, absolutely. Holidaymakers, staff from Majestics, there will be staff from Majestics, a lot of staff from Butlins, holidaymakers especially, day trippers.
And of course, residents from the island itself.
Residents from the
Fantastic,
islands, you
very
know.
important.
Yeah.
The idea, the premise of the whole show was going to be that we were going to invite just the staff, but with the great interest we've had from the outside,
The groundswell, as it
I
were.
think it's now going to open up to the general public as well.
Fantastic.
Who will be able to watch the show, but in certain areas where things could be controlled.
Absolutely, I certainly understand that. I suppose, and the centrepiece is the sort of official unveiling of the plaque down there, which I know you two gentlemen have had an awful lot to do with.
Yes, well, it's not
It's
so
not so much an unveiling
No.
this time, because you can't repeat something you've already
Indeed.
done, but essentially it's a kind of
It's a
dedication
celebration.
by the mayor, a celebration of the plaque. Unfortunately, it was planned to be done in conjunction with the reunion last
I
year.
understand. I was there last
Sadly,
year, wasn't I?
Yeah.
bad weather, health and safety, one thing and another, we had to cram it in at the end of the season with very, very limited access.
It's very low profile.
It
wasn't
was indeed.
So now this is sort of
Quite so. That we made a promise then that we would do it publicly and for the rest of the staff. And once again, I must say that we've got an enormous amount of support from the Vale of Glamorgan Council.
Well, fantastic.
I mean, they moved heaven and earth to get as a place for the plaque. They altered their plans and drawings. They provided a special setting for it. Last year's mayor unveiled it, and this year's mayor, well, I don't know whether he's trying to outdo his colleague, but he's bringing along 3 other mayors, a high sheriff, assorted dignitaries, And once again, he's laying on a bit of a reception for the
The
VIP.
mace. The mace is going to
Oh,
be
the mace. Oh, of course, yeah,
the
but
mace bearer is going to be there. So
well, the mayor can't move without him.
Oh, is that the way it works?
Well, he leads the procession, so
Each
yeah.
towns and cities are different in that respect, aren't they?
Quite so, yeah.
We are indeed. We need Skegness over a mayor, in Nottingham we have a Lord Mayor, and it's very different. I don't understand it.
Well, I don't think Barry's a city, so it's got a mayor, and he's independent, but this is the Vale of Glamorgan, which is a large council, and so we've got both mayors coming. And the funny thing is, of course, Vale of Glamorgan Council are based in Barry itself, and so I mean,
I was going to ask you that really, and I'm really going off subject a little bit, but to follow that up, as I was driving into Barry, only a couple of into Cardiff actually, there's a big sign on the M4 that says "Welcome to the City and County of Cardiff," which totally confused me, but that's kind of explained it a little.
It was very similar to Bristol. Bristol's always been a city.
To me it was always South Glamorgan.
That's right, it is actually. Yeah. I don't know where that's come from.
See, Cardiff's got a Lord Mayor, as has Bristol, and I think this.
But they are cities, aren't
they?
They
are cities.
Maybe that's the difference.
I think you're probably right, but
in England, we also have sheriffs and all sorts of silly things.
Whatever Barry is, it's our island. We love it.
Absolutely, indeed. Yes, absolutely. Say my time was there was very limited, as you know.
Yeah.
But made some very good friends down there over the years, and I shall keep them for the rest of my life, God willing.
Absolutely.
And anybody that can possibly get down there, I urge you to please make the effort. It'll be a fantastic day out. It's free. I'm not saying there won't be a bucket involved, but it's absolutely free. I think I'm right in saying.
Yeah,
you're right.
Get yourselves down there, please. The main thing is enjoy yourself and support what has become part of, I'm sure, not only Wales's heritage, but British heritage. Something that is unique to these islands.
Indeed.
Yeah. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, so harping on about the plaque again as we were and the unveiling and the significance of it, there's also a little bit more behind the story, isn't there, Stuart?
There is indeed. It's probably the only official memorial to Sir William, as we know him, Billy Butlin, who was the founder of the Butlins Empire. And I think it's significant because he first had the idea for the camps whilst he was having a rather dismal holiday on the island. He later came back and his mother and he ran hoopla stalls in the amusement park there. He has still living relatives on the island and it was his favourite camp, as his wife, Lady Sheila, let me know in a rather nice letter we got last year. So Billy was also a major philanthropist and, in my opinion, a working class hero. Sadly, he's been neglected in the grander scheme of things, and we take a certain pride, Tony and I, in the fact that the plaque not only commemorates the camp, but it commemorates a great man.
Absolutely.
We feel that's special, so thanks for allowing me to mention that.
No problem at all. And of course, coming up next year will be the 80th anniversary of the opening of the first ever Butlins holiday camp. Not first ever Butlins, but holiday camp in Skegness.
Quite so, and it coincides with Barry's 50th. So maybe we might have to drag ourselves out of the car and have another look at the island. Who knows?
Well,
next year.
You never know. I mean, with Skegness, we call ourselves Seagull. And the reason was the old badgers, we used to have badgers every year if you remember.
You did indeed.
Some used to have the jolly sailor on, or the jolly fisherman, depending which you want to call him, that's debatable, and others used to have a seagull on them.
Quite so.
Hence we were Seagull. We always called Barry Baby.
Indeed.
That's what we called it, 'cause it was the baby camp.
Yes.
That was, we called it the baby camp of Barry Isle, that's what we called it.
It certainly was the smallest they had, and as it was the last one built, it had a duration of 20 years, and then it was handed over. But it was always significant to the old man because he promised he'd build a camp on Barry Island, and he certainly did. And we're there to remember it.
In man of his word.
Indeed.
Again, gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you, Chris.